Hey everyone, it's Ryan Leonard with Wolfnest Property Management, and today we're going to be talking about why every landlord should be charging rental application fees. Now, whether you are managing your property yourself, you have a management company, or you're looking to have an investment property, application process is one of the most important parts of being an investor or landlord property management company, and charging fees is something that you should not be afraid to do because it really has become an industry standard. So, throughout the life of having investment properties, there's always been either no application fees or application fees, and at one point it was kind of thought of like a money grab or gouging tenants, charging them unnecessary things to even submit an application at a property, and they may not even get the property, but again, you're charging them for it. So I believe it was in 2006 the Utah Rent Control Prohibition Act was amended to allow certain fees upon that screening and application process, and also made it so that local governments couldn't just say no, you can't do that in the city. So now, to kind of prevent gouging, obviously it does need to be, kind of a market price, meaning you can't charge $500 an application fee when, everyone else is charging anywhere between $30 and $60. And let's be honest, if you're a tenant and you see something like a $300 application fee, you're probably going to turn your head and walk the other way anyways. So it's going to really increase vacancy, charging a fee that is, above market. So for renters and landlords, there's really a lot of benefits for the landlord with this application fee, and today we'll kind of take a look at some of those. So again, why do landlords have application fees? Really the most common reasons that you're going to see these is to cover the expenses that they incur to do the proper screening for that applicant or that prospective tenant. What that typically is going to include is pulling a credit report. Also a criminal history check, making sure that anything that pops up, okay, how long ago was it? Is it something that could reoccur? Typically things like violence or drug abuse, those are things that we typically see reoccur, so you want to be able to see those up front. Checking the sex offender registry list, that's a big one as well. Financial qualifications like employment verification, income verification, and also any previous rental history. Now with Wolfnest, we like to do 2 accredited landlord references. So if they rented from a DIY owner, we're typically not going to follow up those individuals, but if they're a part of the Utah Apartment Association or another management company, those are great places to get references from prospective tenants. Now, how much do application fees cost? That's really going to depend, and it could be anywhere from $30 to $60. Again, it's really going to be that market price. So if you're in a different state like California or New York, it could obviously be a lot higher. Here in Utah, again, anywhere from 30 to 60 is pretty common. Now, keep in mind with application fees, with us here at Wolfnest, we do application fees for anyone over the age of 18 that are going to be living at the home and on that lease. Also with us, if you're a tenant and applying to a property, ask up front before you submit an application and pay that. If you miss out on this property, can you apply or push that application and that fee to a different property that may be vacant and available? So again, see if the application and fee is transferable property to property if they miss out. Now, why are they a good idea? Why are rental application fees a good idea? First one, obviously, is reducing risk. One of the most important parts of placing tenants is that screening piece. So a simple fee is a great way to be able to do a thorough background check, criminal background check, landlord reference checks, employment verification, income verification, you name it, those fees are going to help offset the expense that the landlord or management company are going to incur. Again, reduce the costs. Those things aren't free. If you're a landlord and you have 50 properties and you're doing 150 applications a year, that's a lot of money that racks up. So by charging a fee that is an industry standard, it's a great way to offset that expense that you've been incurring for a long time. And lastly, deter unqualified renters. If you have a property up online, especially with right now such a low inventory of available properties, you're going to get a lot of applications, let's be honest. And how great would it be that every one of those applications is a qualified one? And so by having these fees, typically unqualified renters aren't going to apply to that property because they see that there's a dollar amount associated to it, and why waste my money? So again, kind of weeds out some of the bad applications. Now, they are very important, necessary. It's why we do it here at Wolfnest. At the end of the day, if you're not doing it, you should be charging for it, especially if you've been paying for it yourself. If you haven't really been doing thorough background checks, I highly recommend that you do it, and charging a simple fee is a great way to have that thorough background check for that tenant. So if you have any questions about this, you want to discuss in a little bit more depth, there's our website, there's my phone number. Happy to discuss your portfolio and see if our management services could be a good fit. Thank you.